Living Young Country Girl, and I'm going to share with you guys another one of our coffee recipes. So I've had quite a few people ask me for more coffee recipes after I did my iced white mocha one, and I just hadn't really been sharing that much just because it got busy, but I now hope to at least feature one new coffee drink recipe a month at least. And this month I decided to teach you guys how to make a cinnamon dolce breve. So a breve is basically a latte, but instead of using milk, you use half and half. So it's definitely not something I would drink on every day, but it is absolutely phenomenal as like a special treat or almost like a dessert. It's definitely more of like a dessert coffee kind of deal because it is a little heavier. So you wouldn't want this like in a venti by any means. Definitely a smaller serving, but it's still really delicious and a great way to make this. So I'm going to show you guys how we make ours. It's a little bit of a twist off of what we did in the coffee shop because I don't always have all of the supplies. But I find that it actually tastes really amazing this way. So let me show you guys how we make it. So these are the supplies that you will need to make your cinnamon dolce breve. I have told you guys before, we love our Cafe Bastillo espresso. It works really good. We definitely can't complain. We found it to be very non-acidic-y, so acidic. So we absolutely love this one. We buy the big containers and just refill them as we need to. Some half and half of any choice. We prefer to keep ones that have, you know, not been treated with anything. And then some cinnamon, and I'll talk a little bit more why I have 3 different options here for cinnamon. Some caramel syrup. Monin is one of our favorite brands to get. Sometimes it can be a little bit harder to get. So if you are able to get Torani caramel is pretty good. It's not quite as amazing, but it can get the job done. You would want to use a tiny bit more if you're using the Torani because it's not quite as, I don't know, powerful and caramely. And then the Ghirardelli caramel syrup, which you can usually find those in the stores. We order all of our coffee supplies from Webstaurant, and I'll put the link in the description box below, and that seems to be the best price for the syrups and coffee supplies that we have found. So we place a pretty big order because shipping can be pricey, but when we get to it, it's actually not so bad. So here is the espresso pot we like to use. It's the Mr. Coffee pot. We talked about this again last time. It is definitely not your high-end espresso maker by any means. If you are looking for a really good crema or, you know, this is not the coffee pot for you. But when you're talking about foo-foo drinks, this gets the job done. You can find it at Target for around $35. Sometimes it goes on sale and you can get them for like $30. We've done the $200-300 espresso makers. And we found that we had a lot more trouble with them. And yeah, it just didn't seem to be worth the cost. So we went back to the Mr. Coffee because I know we can use it. We use it multiple times throughout the day. We make our morning coffee. My husband always takes coffee with him. And because we do a lot of entertaining, we are making espresso drinks quite often. Now, if you do not have a coffee pot, you can always use a coffee maker to do that, just brewing a very strong cup of coffee. However, I think you will notice a huge difference if you are able to do an espresso maker. I know nowadays they have pods and everything for that. The one thing is the way we make this, and I'll show you guys here what I'm talking about, is it's a little bit harder to do it with like these single serve cups. Whereas if you actually have a basket, you know, a coffee basket one where that you put the grounds in and stuff, it's a little bit easier. And the reason I'm saying that is because it comes down to the caramel part. Now, the cinnamon part. In our situation, I already pulled our shot of espresso. I took our espresso maker here and I put, you can see right there. See, there's some cinnamon inside. I literally put some cinnamon, I put some espresso, packed it lightly, followed the directions. Then I put 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon right there in there. And then I put more espresso on top and then I ran the cycle. Okay. So that literally diffused the cinnamon into my espresso, or infused it, I should say, into my espresso. So you can smell it. My daughter actually was like, oh, it smells so cinnamony, thought I was making like cinnamon, what is it? Oatmeal, because it smells so good. The house smells amazing when you do that. So this is, it's actually been sitting here a while. It's kind of gotten very cold. So this is how we did it with the espresso maker. Now, if you have, again, a basket, you know, like a traditional basket where you put your grinds in, coffee pot, you could add to that as well. This obviously is only basically a 1 cup serving of normal coffee, like it's 1 cup fluid ounces, 8 fluid ounces. This is considered 2 drinks because of the strongness to it. So you'd have to kind of adapt your recipe and probably add a little more cinnamon, because you're going to not be, or you can probably make larger portions unless you have a single serve, like, you know, basket coffee one. Now, when it comes to the Keurig, because unless you have one of the, you know, little pods that you can refill, if you do that, then you could add the cinnamon right to it, which is a great way to do it. If not, a couple of things you could do would be, you could add a cinnamon stick and brew your, you know, strong coffee, and then leave the cinnamon stick in there. Maybe you cut it in half, you know, because it probably wouldn't all like be covered, but you could actually seep the cinnamon stick in there for a while. It would take longer though, because you have to seep it for a pretty long, I'd say about 20 minutes for that cinnamon flavor to really get into the coffee. So that's probably my least favorite way to do that. You could always just add some cinnamon, but if you do that, it does not mix in very well with the espresso. So I do not recommend adding the cinnamon directly to your coffee, because it just gets stuck in your teeth and it does not mix in. So I would not do that. Another option is Young Living has their cinnamon bark essential oil, and this is from the Vitality line, so you can actually ingest this. Now, this is basically a super strong concentrate of cinnamon oil, which if you've had cinnamon gum or anything like that, they use cinnamon oil in those kind of products, so it's no different than that. It's very, very strong. So what I recommend is, because it's so strong, that to even put a drop in can be pretty intense. So what I always tell people to do is stick a toothpick in there, get a little on the toothpick, and stir it around. You can always add more, but it's hard to take it away. And what you would do would be, you would brew your, you know, coffee, your single cup, whatever, take your toothpick and then stir it in there afterwards, and then add your milk and stuff. So that's what, you know, would be a way to do it. Now, I already have my caramel syrup in here. It is not a lot. I only put 1 teaspoon in because, again, like I said, this brand is very, very strong. So I only put 1 teaspoon in. So I have a teaspoon of caramel. I have my cinnamon infused espresso. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in here. And I'm only going to do 2. There we go. Yep. All right. So we got the 2 and the 4. So I went halfway. So this actually, like I said, made 2 drinks. Now, what I need to do is to froth my milk. I have already heated it up in the microwave. Ugh, it has that wonderful milk thing on it. I hate when it does that. I'm going to throw that away. And this is half and half. So this is 3/4 cup of half and half. Now, when you heat up half and half, it heats up way quicker than normal milk. And that film that I just created way more, just because of the high fat content. So a couple options now for frothing your milk. You have your espresso maker. It has a frother on the side, and I can show you guys how you can do it that way. But our favorite way is, we have this Aero Latte one, and you simply are going to stick this under, like right at the edge of the milk, right at the top of it, and it froths up that milk. Absolutely gorgeous. Like I said, 100% recommend this one in particular. I mean, look at that. Because it works very well, and because it's so quick, it's super easy to clean. And honestly, like, I still have some espresso left in here. So if I want to now froth with this, I have to dump my espresso somewhere, follow directions on how to froth for my machine. And it's a lot more work and a lot more cleaning. So I generally don't do that. However, I do, like, this is just a super, super simple. Every so often I actually put it in like a glass full of soapy water to give it a really good cleaning. But that is super simple. And now you have your frothed milk. So we have our espresso infused, or our cinnamon infused espresso right here, along with 1 teaspoon of the caramel. We have our half and half, which is going to be our Breve, which makes this a Breve. And you are simply going to add this to it. Okay, normally you hold back the foam, but because I'm doing this one-handed, it is not working right. Look at that. Isn't that delicious looking? And because it's half and half, it froths. The more fat in the milk, the easier it is to froth. So if you're using like a non-fat or low fat, you're not going to get as much froth from it. But if you're using the higher fat milks, like a half and half, a whole milk, or even a 2% milk, you're going to find a lot more froth on it. So this is what we like to do. Now, can't just leave it like this. No, we have to add some more caramel. So we're going to take our caramel and drizzle this across here. Oh, and it got all blotchy. And then we're going to top it off with that's chocolate powder, a sprinkle of cinnamon sugar powder. So there you guys go. That is your cinnamon Dolce Breve. Doesn't that look delicious? Let me tell you guys, and it tastes amazing too. So I hope you guys enjoyed that recipe. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you want to see more recipes like this, be sure to comment below. If there's a drink that you are wondering how they make it, comment below. I'll see if I can figure it out. I experimented, like I said, with this one to find the way to get the cinnamon without buying. You can buy actual cinnamon syrup, but because I use it so little, it's not worth it for me to buy a whole bottle. So there you guys go. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a beautiful, blessed day, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.